What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today for another edition of the weekly sports card market update. We got a boatload of news again this week. One of the busier weeks for mid-January in hobby nonsense. We have Beckett nonsense, PSA shenanigans, a bunch of new sets coming out. All sorts of craziness. All sorts of craziness. Also, on the TCG side of things, I know I have a separate channel for that. We'll talk about that in a second. Prismatic Evolutions, the new Pokemon release, is kind of taking over the world. Wild Times Dallas show is going on this weekend. All sorts of nonsense in the hobby. I am recording this earlier in the day. None of the football games have been played yet, so I have no idea what happens in those. I wanted to get this knocked out before those started. So I do not know what happened in the Saturday evening game, so we will avoid talking about most of the players from those games. Before we dive too deep, shout out to channel partner, ComC.com. Your home for buying, selling of all sorts of trading cards, comic books. They got everything on there. I am in the process of working through the shipment that went out last week. Actually, it went out a couple weeks ago. The video went up last week, but that has been delivered and things are starting to upload to my account, and I am beginning to price and move those items. I think about half the cards that I sent in that shipment have been posted, and they are already priced and ready to rock and roll. If you are not using ComC, I don't know what you're waiting for. I sent those 2 Game of Thrones cards in the SGC via ComC. Those should be popping anytime as well. I should be getting the grades back on those any minute. That's right, you can grade over on ComC as well. So if you haven't checked them out, go do it. Great way to move lower end cards and higher end cards, but lower end cards is what I use it for, that I just do not have the time to deal with. I mentioned at the top, if you don't know, I did start up a second YouTube channel to focus specifically on TCG. It's been a lot of Pokemon talk lately, but I will be talking some Magic the Gathering as well, as it warrants. If you have not, go subscribe to that channel. I will link to it in the description or pinned comment down below, or you could search for Neo TCG. Go check that out if you were interested in it. Let's talk about some things I missed out on this week because of all the other nonsense. Beckett is suing a couple of people for fraudulent Jason Kelsey autos. Essentially, they set up a fake signing that never actually happened, allegedly, and signed 1,000 items with not actually Jason Kelsey signing them, allegedly. Fake the auth stickers, the whole 9 yards, and then we're selling them out of their local shop. Beckett found out, did some research, and are now suing them to try to get this all shut down. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm sure Paul Lesko and Auburn35 and the others will keep us updated on it. But that is more, Beckett, their legal team is not short for work, whether it's people suing them or them suing people. Being a lawyer on Beckett's team or the counsel that they use, very profitable business to be in, as they always seem to have a lot of things going on. Bunch of PSA news this week. Obviously, the two big things, kind of in a wombo combo, about a week and a half apart from each other. First they came out and said, "Hey, we're backlogged," and most people were like, "Yeah, we could tell." And then immediately following that, they came out with a price increase. I think a lot of that, as I speculated in that video, was to try to tone down submission volume a little bit. That is, in the past, we have always seen this. This is one of the levers they like to pull. Now, will they drop prices again in the future? Who knows? Those price increases are now in effect, though I did get some questions on this in the comments. Any specials currently running are good until whatever their expiration date is. This is just for standard services. So, we'll see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to affect most of their incoming volume. I'm sure they'll take a very slight hit for it. But I believe that is what they wanted as they look to try to get caught up. And, they are about to get hammered. And one of the things that they increased the most on the low end was TCG. They're about to get hammered with Pokemon cards from this new set. Those are going to be coming in waves, most likely. And as I've continued to state, I think the GameStop relationship has been ridiculously successful for them, and I think that caught them a little off guard in regards to incoming volume. And by the way, people have said, and I haven't really dug into it, GameStop prices did not go up, and that is looking more and more appealing for a lot of folks by the day when you look at the value prop of it, because it's cheaper and you save a boatload on return shipping, and return shipping can be very expensive. I spoiled this slightly. My Paul Skeens auto has been graded. It is on its way back to me. That'll be a fun video to do. I will leave it at that. I'm very interested to get that card back in my hand. No spoilers for what the grade is on it, but we'll see on that one. The other PSA news. This is officially live now. This was teased a while back. PSA Pop Report data is now filtering in on eBay. It is both on the website and now in the eBay app. That was the latest thing, is it's now just fully flushed out. They were kind of testing it where it was only showing up on the website and only for certain listings, but it appears it is completely wide now. Nice little value add there. I don't know, I'm not using this on every single card. For just a quick, handy thing and not have to leave the app, it's great. It's perfectly great. If it's a more rare card, like some 90s nonsense or early 2000s that doesn't sell that often or doesn't transact a lot, I would still go look at pop data for the other graders, specifically Beckett. I found in the past when I'm looking at cards, a lot of times the PSA pop will be low for that late 90s, early 2000s stuff, and then you go look at Beckett Pop Report and it's very high. So the card might not be as rare as you think it is. Or it might come back and maybe Beckett's Pop Report's very low on it as well, and it actually is a rare card. I had that instance when I purchased a Jose Ramirez Topps Finest Orange Refractor. I had never seen one before, and PSA Pop was next to nothing, and I double-checked the Beckett Pop Report, and it was also next to nothing, which told me that the card was actually pretty rare, and I ended up getting a really good deal on it because there just wasn't any comps on it out there. So nice little handy tool. It would be nice if they had some of the other grading companies as well. I don't think we see that, but it would be nice if that got put in there. But eBay and PSA continue to deepen their relationship on a monthly basis. Let's get into some Topps news. There's a bunch of it. Montgomery club membership renewals are up $150, and you could see the benefits down below. One stamped set, and then early access to that list, aka subject to change. Star Wars Hyperspace is a new product that we don't really know anything about. I believe that is supposed to be the super high-end Star Wars product. Topps Chrome Football Sapphire, that's going to be unlicensed, so I don't know how I feel about that one. 2024-2025 Topps Chrome UCC Sapphire Inception Basketball, that's going to be unlicensed. Topps Museum Collection is extremely high-end. And then probably the three that most people are going to care about: Topps Chrome Baseball Sapphire, Bowman Chrome Sapphire, and Topps Chrome Update Sapphire. But at least 2020 Chrome and 2020 Chrome Update, now, we're a ways away from what those sets might look like. Chrome, at minimum right now, does not have a spectacular rookie class. That could obviously change. And same with Update. You never know who's going to get called up in season that could juice that product. But a lot of unknowns on those. And then 2025 Bowman, I have no idea who's potentially going to be in that. So a lot of the sets there are, other than those last three, I don't know that most people are chasing those. Now, I will say, this 2025, I think, is going to be a little rough year for Montgomery Club memberships. If you really want one, it might not be a bad idea to just eat it for a year. And this is renewals, but when they open it up to the public, and try to get one, because going forward, it's probably going to be pretty important because next year, 2026, they're going to have all the licenses. So, are they going to give early access to Topps Chrome Sapphire football, Topps Chrome Sapphire basketball? That's a licensed product. That we don't know yet, and it's a little bit of a roll of dice. $150 is not cheap just to get early line access to buy, like one box possibly. In the past, you could probably flip some of the baseball Sapphire products and sell one of them and cover your expense for this. But I've never been a Montgomery Club member. If it comes open to the public this year, I am thinking about getting it more so just to get in the program for 2026 than I care about being in it for 2025. Though I am curious what Star Wars Hyperspace actually ends up looking like. We don't know anything about that product. Also interested to see no Marvel product on here. Probably not surprising they haven't announced anything yet, so they're probably keeping some things secret. But I don't know. I wish for Montgomery Club membership, I think you should get access to more sets early. They only let you buy one box. It's not like it's that big of a deal. But it'd be very easy to make this program a lot better just by getting access to more sets. We mentioned it, did a video on it. Topps Chrome football is a coming. I don't care. I don't think many people care. I don't think you should care. You're better off to probably just chase some singles on the secondary market. There's probably going to be some Tom Brady chase in here to make people want to go nuts for it. Jaden Daniels will be the big chase for it. Everyone that's on Fanatics payroll will be pumping this thing to the moon and back again. Listen, I'm all for Topps Chrome. I'm super excited for basketball and football. I will be patient and I will wait for a licensed release. I dabbled with the Topps Chrome basketball. I had a feeling I wasn't going to like it. Spoilers, I didn't like it. Didn't think it was a very good product. And the prices have come down on that stuff quite a bit. Also this week, Bowman Sapphire Draft went up on EQL. I passed on this. The EQL was up. I didn't even enter it. It was $4.79 a box. Once again, Bowman Draft seems to not be a very hyped class. Not a lot of, the hobby boxes still continue to kind of trend downwards as we move throughout the winter months. And it just didn't seem like it was worth it for $500 basically a box when you include tax. And the flip game on it is really not that great. You probably paid a little over $500 with tax. You're going to list it on eBay. They're going for, you can see it right there, $630 to $650. Lop off 10 to 15% in eBay fees. And, what did you make there? Maybe $50? Okay, cool. That's not nothing. If that's how you want to grind it out, do your thing. But I don't know if that's worth the hassle. And it didn't seem like it was worth ripping it. So I ended up passing on this product. I'm sure we'll all regret it. Someone from this class will become some major prospect and everyone poo-pooed on it. And now it'll go to the moon and back again. That's usually what happens. The other one, and I did grab some of these. WWE Chrome went up for sale earlier in the week. This is Topps Chrome, WWE Chrome 2025, brand new product. Only $169 a box, I think it was, or $179 a box. You do get 2 autos per box. I ended up getting 4 boxes. It was an EQL launch. I put in for 4. I figured, what the hell? I think they might have a little bit of flip value, and they do. They're going for $230, but like I just said, by the time you factor in eBay fees and taxes, you're probably breaking even on these, selling those at that price. This feels like one of the ones, and by no means, please do not run and go out and buy this. I have a feeling this is going to get pumped up a lot by the breakers and influencers, etc. And with WWE going to Netflix and Raw kind of being a big thing again, a lot of eyes are on it right now. I figured for $170 a box with 2 autos did not seem like the worst gamble in the world. So I got 4 boxes coming. I don't know if I'm going to open up any of it or just stash a couple of them and see what happens with the secondary market prices. There is rock autos in there. We'll see. I'm sure I will convince myself to open one of these things. We'll have to see how the singles do, how the cards look, etc. But I did end up snagging a couple of these. once again, under $200 for a box with 2 autos in it. I don't know. That felt pretty okay with me. The other big news, and this actually low-key might be some of the bigger news of the week, Cooper Flagg signed an exclusive with Topps. If you don't follow the basketball world, Cooper Flagg is probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. He has been on fire lately at Duke, and he is going to be the big chase next year. He is going to be the big chase next year. And like I said, Topps gets the NBA license at the end of this year. We are probably going to see Cooper Flagg licensed Topps Chrome Chase come the end of this year, beginning of 2026. I don't know what their product lineup's going to look like in regards to stacking this stuff out, but he is going to be the player everybody wants. He's going to be the one that sells for huge money and breaks. He's the one that's going to be selling for crazy money off the rip. It's actually a very loaded class. But Cooper Flagg is the clear-cut number 1 pick. It sounds like I was listening to one of the Simmons podcasts the other day, and he referred to the tanking teams as capture the flag, which I got a little chuckle out of. But big lockup by Topps on that one. They've already done some Topps Now cards with him, but to lock him into an exclusive is really going to hurt Panini's chances for making anything unlicensed. Speaking of Panini and basketball, 2024 Prism Basketball is coming. This is a DA Card World pre-sale price. This comes out in about a month, almost exactly a month, actually. You're a madman or woman for spending anywhere close to $1,000 for one of these boxes. Now, I don't know what the price is going to settle in at post-release, but it'll be way less. This draft class currently playing in the NBA right now is very mediocre. It is a bunch of just decent NBA players. It actually ended up being, from like a depth standpoint, better than I think a lot of people thought, but there's not really a superstar in it. I don't even know that there's a Robin in it. I don't even know that there's like a third guy that you'd want, like best guy on a championship team. As it stands right now, I don't know if any of these players would reach the third member in a team like that. I just don't see it. Now, a lot can happen, obviously, in the future, but who are you chasing in this product? It'd be very fun to watch breakers try to get this product to move. We do have some preview images up here of it. It's a fine design. I don't mind the design on it at all. Like that Anthony Edwards looks nice. That's cool. Great looking card, whatever. None of the inserts are really jumping out at me. I could care less about these Prismanias. I don't know. That price seems absolutely insane for the rookie class that's associated with it, and it's only going to get worse. Like, imagine Flawless and NT with this very, very weak NBA class, and this is potentially Panini's last shot at it. I don't think they're going to make 2025, 2026 product and take advantage of the Cooper Flagg market. So it is what it is. Steer clear of that one. We'll talk basketball first, and then we'll go into football since we were just talking about basketball. What I have pulled up here is NBA silver prices over the last 30 days. One of the things that really jumped out at me, the NBA market actually seems like it might be in a kind of a decent spot right now, all things considered. I know, like, it's not getting as much hype as it typically has, but the players over the last 30 days that are seeing like good price jumps are guys that are really performing well. And that's actually kind of refreshing to see a little bit. I'll scroll down here. Cade Cunningham is number 2 on the list. He's up to $400, and the Pistons and Cade are playing out of their mind. So, like, that seems very justifiable. Like, Cade's playing great. He's potentially going to be an NBA All-Star. SGA up quite a bit. He's up to $750 now. He's going to be the MVP. I hate to break it to you. They eviscerated my Cleveland Cavaliers this week. It wasn't even close. They just destroyed them. Donovan Mitchell up quite a bit. He continues to climb as the Cavs remain ridiculously hot. Jalen Green up almost 60%, along with his running mate, Alfred Sengun. The Rockets are playing fantastic. They look great. Both those guys are playing great. Karl Anthony Towns is having an amazing season. He's up 25%. Amon Thompson's having a nice start to the season. Paolo Banchero has a ton of hype on him right now. just refreshing to see some guys that are having really nice like breakout seasons actually see their prices jump up in a meaningful way. We kind of haven't seen that for a while, so it's nice to see those players get that kind of love here as we move. You know, the NBA is about to come into focus as the NBA or NFL playoffs kind of wind down a little bit. One player not getting a lot of love, Zion Williamson, one of the all-time. Actually, this might be the lowest. Is this the lowest? Might be the lowest ever for his Prism Silver at $171. I know it flirted with it in the 170s before, but I don't know that I've actually seen it get as low as 171. Crazy when you think about where this card once was at one point in time. I mean, this was regularly a $3,000 plus card for the better part of 2 years. And now it is under 200 bucks. And he just came back. He actually looked pretty good. But now he's got all this nonsense going on with him being late for team flights and practices and everything else. So I don't know what is going on down there in New Orleans. I think it ends up that he gets traded somewhere, and that could maybe juice his value a little bit. But the guy just cannot stay healthy for long periods of time. When he's on the court and actually playing and slimmed down like he is right now, he looks great. The talent is there. It's just everything else around it seems to be a mess. So 170 for a Zion. If I told you back here, and I know a lot of people in the comment section back then, you could probably go back and look and, you know, say that it would be there. But if I told you by the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, Zion Silvers would be under $200, I don't know, a lot of people would tell me to jump out a window. A lot of people would agree with that. But a lot of people would be very surprised by that. Very surprised by that. Let's look at a little bit of football. I don't want to go too deep into this since the games have yet to be played, but we'll talk about a couple things here. Justin Herbert got bounced out of the playoffs. People have lost a lot of money on his cards, not as much as they have on Zion. His Silver Prism had a slight drop this week, nothing super crazy. Herbert passes the eye test, but for whatever reason, it just does not work on the field. I don't know if that's the Chargers. Maybe they were a year too early. I don't know. But Herbert feels like a player created for Madden and not the actual NFL. Maybe he'll end up being able to break out of that at some point in time. But his card prices still seem pretty inflated given what he's done in the actual NFL. CJ Stroud got a slight bump up. Jaden Daniels got a slight, he's down overall, but you can see on the chart there, it picked back up again as they both got wins. We'll see if they can get through this weekend. Some of you boys and girls already know the outcome to at least one of those games by the time you're watching this. Like I said, I don't want to speculate too hard. Jaden Daniels will be the big one. If they can get through the Lions, his stuff could, I'm not going to say run because we're still in that figure it out phase because a lot of his products still just being opened. But I think it would help stabilize his market a lot sooner rather than later. Even if they lose to the Lions, if he goes down slinging, he is going to be CJ Stroud 2.0 heading into next year. At the National next year, everyone's going to be wanting Jaden Daniels stuff. Everyone's going to be chasing it. It's going to be CJ Stroud all over again. And we all know how that typically ends. Whoever's hot in the summer usually ends up not being too hot in the winter. That is all I got for you, boys and girls. Like I said at the top, if you haven't, go check out channel partner ComC. Also, go subscribe to the TCG channel if you want to follow along with all the nonsense that is going on that side of the world. And right now, trust me, there is a lot of nonsense going on in the TCG side of the world. Don't know, have 0 videos planned for this upcoming week. It's the first time. Actually, I do have 1 video scheduled already. I have a Marvel Masterpieces box opening that was supposed to drop last week and then got pushed because of all the news. But that'll be up sometime next week. So that is all I got. Everyone have a great weekend. If you're in the Northeast, especially in Ohio area, be careful earlier this or in the beginning of this week. It is supposed to be ridiculously cold, like -20. So stay safe out there. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.